I'm Jessi Allender, registered dietitian, professional chef, and I'm here at home with my kids during coronavirus lockdown in Chicago. It's April, shall I say it's mid-April, it's the 17th, I think, and it's a Friday, and we're here at home. There she is, and I've got a lot of things going on I wanted to share with everybody. So first off,
Mommy,
we've got lunch working.
Why are we giving away my NAR thing?
I'm not sure, baby. I'll come talk to you about that in just a minute.
Oh.
All right, everybody out, everybody out. So I've got some onions working here in the pan. This is just onions sauteing in some olive oil. I minced them up. I've got them all soft. I'm gonna turn that off. Got my pan heating up. I'm gonna make a version of Swiss steak, but from fresh. And I've got some water going right here. I'm gonna go ahead and add, this is Barilla Plus. It's a 50% wheat, 50% bean flour pasta that I love a lot. It tastes delicious. My kids like to eat it. 4 tiny handfuls, so it can be their side dish, hopefully with no leftovers. And hopefully they'll still eat the meat that I'm making. So I've got my onions. They are sauteed so that they're nice and sweet. I put in olive oil, some salt, some white pepper, a touch of sugar. I'm bringing you to today is what I call Cooking Nutrition Connections. And yeah, it's okay to use some seasoning. So in this bowl, I've got ground meat and the very last bits of the marinara sauce that I cooked up about 2 days ago. So I've got that into the meat. This is some 85% beef. It's organic, or it's either organic or free-range ground beef. I can't remember. So yeah, I am putting my hot sauteed onions in here because I am cooking this momentarily. I like to cook with some richness for my kids,
Yeah.
both so that they like it and especially with the olive oil, because that helps us. If you can see, one of them's on rollerblades and the other one's just running all the time, even in our house. We've got a lot of energy expenditure going on and a lot of growing to do. They're also really good at telling me when they're done eating, and that's all they have to eat. And so if I give them nice, satisfying foods, they're very likely to eat a good portion. We also do a lot of beef because we have a history of anemia in our household.
Yeah.
So beef is a really great, is iron-rich protein, obviously. And so that's one of the choices I make. So I'm going to make these oval to stay in tune with some Swiss steak. There we go. I've got low heat on my pan. I like to use low heat for these. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Not too thick, not too thin, nice even shape, but oval because it's Swiss steak and not a hamburger, right? What's the difference? Well, this is the difference. So, basically it needs to be a seasoned meat, nice and juicy. I think that's my criteria for calling it, and made out of chopped meat, but then not served on bread. I don't have any buns. I haven't had a chance to make bread since Passover ended. Well, I did make pizza crust the other night, but I haven't had a chance to make any buns or breads. I'm making challah later on today for our Shabbat dinner. But for right now, I don't have any buns, so when I offered the kids hamburgers, they're like, hamburgers on matzah, and I was like, how about Swiss steak and noodles? And that seemed to be a hit, so that's what I'm doing. There we go. Turn up the heat just a touch for right now. Get a little bit more sear on there. I am going to cook these well done. I like to cook burger meat medium well done, just to be safe right now. We don't need any excuses for going to the emergency room, right? This is not the time to be headed to the hospitals, not on all our, hopefully we're all staying at home, whether or not our state has an order, and staying safe and keeping our curves nice and flat. I've heard some good news here in Chicago. We've got a rather relatively flattened curve, which is great. But we should just keep that going on. Okay, can't do that with dirty hands. Let me get these washed. All right, so Swiss steaks are cooking. Noodles are cooking in the pot. Uh-huh. My very hungry children will be fed quite soon. I'll take care of the rest of that meat on my next batch. I'll be able to put one or two more on.
I'm hungry.
That's one hangry child right there. But I wanted to continue on with my hand off the camera with another dish I'd like to make that I'm cooking over here in the Instant Pot. So there we go. My little prop spot. All right, how are we doing? Good. So here I've got my Instant Pot. I'll set it up in just a second. And inside, not my daughter's head, I have some oxtails. These are, again, organic beef oxtails I got from Whole Foods. They've been in my freezer for a minute. And I'm going to make some pho, Vietnamese beef soup. It'll be beef noodle soup. I think I have some rice noodles in my pantry, and if not, I'm going to figure something out. So the seasonings for pho, I adapted a recipe from one of my favorite books, which I can't remember the title of. It's a Vietnamese cookbook, and I will share the title of it in the comments. But so the way I like to make my broth is I have here a nice juicy piece of ginger, and this is a broth I'm going to strain. I'm going to serve the meat in the soup, but I don't need to worry too much about like onion skins or ginger skins because the ginger isn't going to be eaten. So I'm just going to give a slice to this ginger root, leave the skin on. I've got my slices of ginger root. Those are going in. Good. I forgot to get out my onion. Now look at this. This is a sweet onion that we got from Hyde Park Produce. My daughter is showing it off here with me. And one of the things I like about this particular onion is how thin it is, how squashed. The more squashed it is, my understanding, my experience is that it's sweeter.
As you can see, I'm walking through a wall.
You are. So I'm going to use about half of this onion, and I'm just going to give it a rough chop. I'm going to leave the core intact so I can take it out later. And I'm going to get it into the pot with my oxtails. Gesundheit, please go wash your hands. My pho is typically served with like some brisket or some tendon, tripe, rare beef, all sorts of different kinds of beef when you get it in the restaurant. Today I have the oxtail, so that's what's going to be in my soup. So there it is. I left the core intact so that my onions will stay together so they're easier to fish out of my broth into the pot. And then the seasoning. We have some whole cloves. I'm going to do about 5, where's my camera? 5 pieces of whole clove. And I'm going to put in a cinnamon stick. 1. For that amount, I'm just going to do 1. You don't want to over season pho. It's a herby, it's a soup with just so much aromatics, but it's a clear broth, and that's why I'm not browning anything. I've got about 15 black peppercorns going in. And then this is a spice that's not commonly used in the West. I think I have a whole one in here. This is star anise. It smells like licorice. There is a star in it. Here, lean in and smell. It's also one of the spices that we put in the spice box for Havdalah. So that when we say that. Okay. Children aren't loud. Old people's like me's ears are just sensitive. So here's number 2. So 2 star anise, black peppers, cinnamon, and clove. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in some salt. Just enough. I don't want to over salt at this point. And then I'm going to get in some filtered water And I'm going to set that to cook on, I'm going to put it on soup, which is high pressure, and then I'm going to do it for about 30 minutes on my pot of instant cooking. Oops, went the wrong way. There we go. 30 minutes. There we go. So as soon as I get the water in there, put the lid on, cook that for 30 minutes, and tomorrow I'll show you how I serve the soup. Let's get back.
Hey!
Yeah, I know, right? Let's get back to our Swiss steak. It's time to turn them over. They have been patiently waiting right here. Let's get this going on. Bloop. Oh, it's tender. I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit more. Still very raw inside, so I could have let that go. In fact, I'm going to let the other two go for a little bit. I was getting worried about them. Our pasta noodles are good to go, so let's get our colander out. You're getting a really good view of my kitchen today. Here we go. Here's the colander I love so much.
Yeah, he got it for his birthday.
I got it for his birthday. Whose birthday did I get my colander for?
You!
Oh, for my birthday. That's right. It was my birthday present. There's the colander. So let's grab our pasta. Watch out, Coco. Let's grab our pasta. Get that drained. Beautiful. All right. Be careful, Bunny. All right, everybody. So we've got our Swiss steak cooking right there in the pan. Our noodles are ready. We're going to have some leftover broccoli from last night.
Wait, can you show him the thing where I walked the wall that I didn't?
No, not right now.
Oh.
And then I've got my pho cooking for my lunches over the weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the red button right below and hit subscribe and share with all your friends.
Please,
that would be super. We'd love it. Show them what?
Show them the thing where I walked through the wall.
Oh, yeah. She wants you to see her walk through the wall. Go ahead, walk through the wall.
I'm walking through the wall.
Oh my goodness, she disappeared. Have a great day, everybody.
No, I'm gonna say bye.
Say bye.
Whoa! Bye.
Don't grab the hot stove. She's fine. Stay safe, stay home, and for all the first responders out there, thanks for everything you do. Go ahead.
Yeah.